Right, so I've made my way up to the pillar drill now and ready to drill the holes in these pieces. So what I've got here is I've got a machine vise. The machine vise is set to sit on the drill stand here. Be careful, whatever you do, make sure it doesn't drop off. You'll notice there are T-bolt slots on here and there are slots inside the machine vise. You might find that you want to put a T-bolt slot in, a bolt through, so you can clamp that machine vise to the drill stand. It's always a good thing to do. If that drops off and lands on your foot, you've got major problems, big injury. Okay, let's have a look at the pillar drill then, because you must be familiar with it, just to remind you about the health and safety requirements. Okay, it's a pillar drill. This is the pillar down the back of it here, and there's a big powerful electric motor on top. Start and stop buttons, and it's got a few emergency stop buttons as well. There's an emergency stop button on the floor that you can turn off with your foot, but don't do that as a matter of course. They do get damaged, so just save that for emergencies. But there's other ways as well. So you've got a green button and a red button. The green button turns it on, so you're wondering why it doesn't turn on. Well, the guard on this drill is interlocked, just like on the lathe, so when it closes, it'll turn on. So you press the green button now, it starts spinning around. You've also got on this machine here a little inspection lamp that you can use that throws light on the surface where you're going to be doing the drilling, so you don't get any shadows for more accurate work. If you want to turn it off now, you've got options, so you can either open the guard, that'll turn it on. If you close it off again, it doesn't turn back on. You've got to turn it back on again. Or when it's running, you can press the red button to turn it off. It's not a great idea to turn it off with the emergency stop button unless you really need to, because you have to reset that by twisting it so it pops out again. Alright, so let's have a look how we put the drill bit in. Well, first of all, let's look at what size drill bit we need. So, clearance for M4 is 4.2mm diameter, so get a 4.2mm diameter drill bit. And then this chuck on the drill is a keyless chuck, so you don't need a chuck key for it. What you're going to do is you're going to just turn the base bit and make sure that that drill bit goes between the three jaws of the chuck. Hold the top, twist the bottom, and that should be held in nice and straight. So press the green button and just check there's no throw to that as it's spinning around. It's all good. Now we need to clamp our work. Alright, so if I'm going to drill this aluminium, I need to know a bit about aluminium, I'm guessing, right? If you hold that in the machine vise, bang in the middle, make sure it's nice and level. You might want to put something straight across there to make sure that you've got no gap underneath it. That's a good way to make sure that the thing is going to be level. Right, if I was going to try and drill these holes on the end, and I've just got it clamped in the centre, it's going to bend the aluminium. So you have to be really careful and support the job close to where you're going to be doing your drilling. Right, so let's have a look here. I'm going to bring that up. Make sure that stays level with the top of the vise. Now, tightening this by hand, you can get it fairly tight, but if you want to get any tighter, you're going to have to get something to put into the holes on the handle to use a bit like a Tommy bar on a normal vise, so that gives you a bit more leverage. Right, next thing then, I'm ready to fire the machine up properly. Make sure you've got your eye protection on, make sure you're wearing the right PPE, so a work coat. Make sure you've got nothing loose hanging that could get caught in the machine. Press the green button for go, hold the handle, sight where it's going to drill on your centre punch mark, and then slowly drill down. Now don't put too much force in, the drill bit's going to do the work for you. If it's a nice sharp drill bit, you're going to have a perfectly placed hole in the job. Be careful with the swarf. Also be careful with the back of the hole you've just drilled. It could have a sharp burr on the back of it, like in other words a folded over sort of section of metal, which could easily cut your hands, so be careful with that. Clamp that one, let's drill the middle hole. And then lastly, but not least, let's drill a hole in the end. This is the one where we're going to have problems when we come to cut it. Well, not problems, but we just have to be careful. Let's make sure that lines up nicely. So the hole all the time, look, is within the size of the jaws of the vise. Right, there it is. So if you can see, this one here, look. Let's see if I can get that to focus a minute. The one in the centre and the two on the ends, all in line with the middle. So just be careful, because the back of these holes do have this burr on them, this edge that is quite sharp. So you have to make 2 of those, and they have to be exactly the same, so the holes line up, alright? So take your time, get those looking nice. And now next job is I'm going to cut the ends of this, alright?